You've probably seen these before. Racing cars is fun and all, but I've heard a rumour it can get a little bit expensive, and so Formula 1 has a whole host of sponsors to help, and, pun intended by the way, keep the wheels turning. You see their logos all around the tracks, then you also have the DHL Fastest Pit Stop Award, the Pirelli Pole Position Award, and also, Pirelli tyres, exclusively. Driver of the Day, sponsored by Salesforce, and the Crypto.com Overtake of the Month. But the ultimate advertising opportunity is, of course, to have your own Grand Prix. The Formula 1 Singapore Airlines Singapore Grand Prix. The Formula 1 Qatar Airways Qatar Grand Prix. The Formula 1 Qatar Airways British Grand Prix. I think you might have slightly missed the pattern here, Formula 1. The Formula 1 Aramco Gran Premio de España, and then, of course, everyone's favourite, the Formula 1 MSC Cruises Gran Premio del Made in Italy e dell'Emilia Romagna. It's obviously cool and all to be the title sponsor for a race, so everyone will see your brand's name. But what if these brands wanted to take this one step further? What if they wanted to make a track in the shape of their logo so no one could ever forget it? Well, if they were to do that, whose logo would be best? My name is Mr. V, and in this video we're going to be adding official Formula 1 sponsors to our tier list to find out whose logo would make the best track. Now, I could have made a video of any company in the world, but if I chose a company, let's say Greg's, who's shown no interest in motor racing, well then it's a little rude for me to start roasting them on how bad their logo is as a track layout. I mean, of course, their Foursquare logo would be nasty as a track, but I'm not going to say that because they don't deserve it. Oh, wait. Official Formula 1 partners it is then, but I'm also going to be adding in another rule for this video to make sure the F tier doesn't get too full. No words. Most of these companies just have their name written out horizontally, which I understand from a recognition point of view, but obviously these make terrible tracks. Therefore, no Lenovo, even though they sponsor 2 Grands Prix, no official champagne supplier Ferrari, and even though their words are a bit more stylized, no DHL and no big Pirelli P. I will, however, allow a logo which is a horizontal word next to a symbol, but I'm only going to count the symbol part, such as the star from our first logo onto this tier list, Heineken. Kicking the words out of their logo leaves us with a very simple 5-point star, which, yeah, unsurprisingly, pretty bad track. I don't have much to say about this one really. It's very simple to the Mercedes logo from last time, but somehow with even less variety. You start off with a hairpin right into a follow-through left, into a hairpin right into a follow-through left, into a hairpin right. Repeat this 5 times per lap for who knows how many laps to get to full Grand Prix distance, and you have something closer to torture, or perhaps a Sisyphean eternal punishment than it is sport. I'm confident sticking Heineken in F tier to start our tier list off, which means it's all uphill from here. I mean, it's not like anyone else has made a star for their logo, because stars make terrible tracks. So thank God there's not even more stars coming up, because that would suck. This is called foreshadowing. Aramco is a Saudi Arabian national oil and gas company and the largest sponsor of Formula 1 in the last few years. And also Aston Martin. Now, as this is a graphic instead of a line drawing, I could have done this for their track. But that's not really in the spirit of the logo, is it? So instead, we have to look at this. Yeah, the square would have been better. If you squint, it's kind of like an oval with an infield, but they got the oval pretty wrong because it's, well, a square, and they got the infield very wrong. I don't know the exact answer to the question, how many hairpins is too many hairpins, but I'm pretty confident the answer is less than 19. To give it some credit, at least all the hairpins here are a little bit different. There is some variety as you go around this thing. But actually I just realized I don't want to give this any credit. This is awful. F tier. Okay, look. Please can we have no more stars? Stars do not make good tracks. No more stars and we can all move on with our lives. There's another star behind me, isn't there? It has even more points than before. We can get through this. We can get through this. MSC Cruises are the title sponsors of the Japanese and Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And I suppose as it's a cruise company, like on the sea, this is actually nautical themed, and so it's a compass rose and not a star. Still sucks though. 12 hairpins to the left, 12 hairpins to the right. Congratulations, you've just completed the lap of the MSC International Circuit. I'm really struggling for any positives to say to keep this balanced, guys. It's an efficient use of land area, I guess. This is revolting, vile, rotten, disgusting. I'm sure I don't need to tell you which tier this is going in. Just put it in the tier list and we can move on. Okay, who do we have next? Oh, Rolex. Okay, cool. They don't have a star. They have a crown as their logo, right? That's much better. It's just half a star. It's just half a star. In fairness, I do like this sweeping turn 20 between two straights, leading us into the start-finish straights. Could lead to some interesting battles as you cross the line. And then, this corner complex is interesting. Not good, just interesting. They obviously tried this out in Vietnam, but we never got to see a race there, so I don't actually know if it's good or not. I would, however, recommend that you only use this once per lap, not 5 times. However, that's exactly what Rolex have done. This track is highly repetitive again, not fun. Obviously, not as bad as the Stars, but in the grand scheme of things, still an utterly unacceptable track. F tier as well. Crypto.com sponsor the Miami Grand Prix and also the Overtake of the Month award, and finally, they've brought something that isn't a star. In our last videos, we explored the concept of the big circle, but Crypto have instead opted to bring us a big hexagon. Okay, trying something new. I will say the infield of this could do with some improvements. Each of these bubbles that make up the lion's face, and yes, it is a lion's face, I was surprised as well, could make an interesting corner complex, but I think one is enough. Doing it 3 times is just a bit extra. A bit too windy, a bit too stop-start. I think you can see from how awkwardly I had to cram in all the corner numbers, it's just too cramped in here. An improvement compared to the Stars then, and I do like the idea of the big hexagon. It reminds me of Turkey or Qatar, but a lack of variety and repeating your corners is a sin which cannot go unpunished. Therefore, this is going down in D tier. So far then, this tier list is looking a little bottom heavy. These brands really aren't bringing their A game. It's almost like no one told them their logos are going to be turned into tracks, but I emailed them like 10 days ago. They had tons of time to change this. Anyway, please can we have a good logo? Please. Let's see, which sponsor is up next? MONGRIP? What do they sponsor? Mr. V's Garage? That's not a race. I mean, their logo does make a pretty good track layout, but it's not really what we're... Did sponsor segment music just start playing? Excuse me? I'm trying to make a tier list here. MONGRIP make these beautiful bracelets from real race-used tyres. Every bracelet in the F1 race collection starts life as a tyre used in a Formula 1 Grand Prix. MONGRIP then transforms them with these beautiful silver or gold clasps to turn them into the perfect accessory for any Formula 1 fan. Okay, no, look, I'm trying to make a video here. Please, can we stop with this hate? Wait, no. The guys at MONGRIP make sure to preserve every little detail in the original rubber on these bracelets and to preserve that real race tyre smell. Ooh. If you've ever been to a Grand Prix, a different race event, a karting track, you will know exactly what this bracelet smells like. If you're wondering why I'm mentioning the smell of this thing so much, honestly, if you get one of these, as soon as you open the box, ratatouille moment. No joke. As you may know, Mr. V likes an accessory. So an accessory that fits with my look and shows off my passion for motorsport? Simply lovely. MONGRIP bracelets make the perfect accessory for any Formula 1 fan you may know, even if that fan is you. If you need to sort a present for someone, or if you just deserve a treat, take a look at the link in the description to see the products MONGRIP has to offer, or follow the QR code on screen. You're going to love their products, and it supports Mr. V's Garage if you do. Now, back to the video. Right. Okay, well, after that rude interruption, we may as well rate this logo as it's here now. We've actually got some really good corner variety. I'm particularly fan of this straight down into the lovely curvy 6, 7, 8, and the nice follow through of 11, 12, 13 into the heavy braking of 14 could be tricky enough to induce some errors and keep the race spicy. While there may not be all that many places where overtaking is easy, I think we've got a solid track on our hands. In my completely unbiased opinion, this is the first A-tier track of our video. Completely unbiased opinion. Link in the description. We then head to a very strange logo, the Amazon arrow, here used as part of the AWS logo. It's famous for its simplicity, but will that simplicity translate into a good track? No. Amazon are the masters of saving costs, and they've saved cost here by just not adding any corners. It reminds me of Avis in a way, and I do love Avis for its ridiculousness, but it's important to note it was not a good track. This honestly looks like something Formula E would use, which once again, not a compliment, so I'm going to have to rate it pretty low. Not quite as grueling as the Stars, but equally as uninteresting as the Crypto.com Lion. Therefore, this is going in D tier as well. We then get onto 3 airlines that sponsor various races throughout the calendar. That makes sense, you know, Formula 1 is a global sport, and how do you get around the globe? In a big metal tube at 850 kph. Airlines are also normally quite stylish, sexy companies, the expensive ones anyway, so I'm hoping for something good from these guys. We start out with Qatar Airways and their Oryx. Now, obviously, this logo is stylized with all these horizontal strokes, which if I followed all of them would make a horrible track, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and draw this thing based on the spirit of the design. You know what? That actually kind of slaps. We see the return of the big circle, and actually this reminds me of the hash track in lots of ways. I really like everything that's happening from turns 1 through to 10. I think this could be a lot of fun to drive. Lots of passing opportunities too, which is always a big tick. It's not always sunny in Doha though, and this track does have some extra windy bits that I don't think would be very fun. The horns up here making turns 18 to 20 are also just a bit too much, adding too much unnecessary lap time. I think 1 would be okay, but 2 is an issue. I'm on the fence between B and C tier for this one, and while I can't know for certain until we make this thing in a sim and try it out, considering our tier list is so bottom heavy today, I'm going to put it in B, just to balance things out. Our next airline is Gulf, sponsor of the Bahrain Grand Prix, who have another animal as their logo, the Falcon. When I started making this, I was initially very hopeful, until I started to put the corner numbers on. 33 is a lot of corners, guys. However, it's not as bad as it seems. Lots of these corners are just Jeddah-style fast sweepers, which an F1 car can just take flat, and so actually, it's not as complicated as the numbers would suggest. The track is very Jeddah-inspired actually, just with some extra windy bits halfway along the 2 sides. The slow bits, like 12, 13, 14 here, are too slow, but I like the overall ideas. If this was smoothed out a bit, I could see this being good. Jeddah has proved to us that a track like this can be a lot of fun, even if it is stupid dangerous. In its current state though, I do think Gulf Airways has a bit of a flow issue, so I'm going to have to stick it in C tier. Our final airline is therefore Singapore, sponsor of, and you might want to sit down for the shock of this, the Singapore Grand Prix. They have another bird as their logo, but this time it's a lot more stylized and simplified. And this time, when we turn it into a logo, that simplification pays off, because this bangs. Excellent overtaking opportunities down into turn 2, very similar to Monza, where people fight through the Curva Grande and then overtake into the Della Roggia chicane. An overall high-speed layout, but a lot of variety thrown in due to the slow corners. This reminds me of Monza in a lot of ways actually, or maybe something like Las Vegas, which produced a great race the first time we went there. As good as it is though, I can't quite give this an S tier. It is maybe a bit too simple, and I'm really not a fan of this double chicane up at the top. 1 would be okay, you know, just to make the lap a little bit slower, but 2 is just unacceptable. It's good, therefore, but it's not perfect. I'm sticking Singapore Airlines in A tier, which you would think would make me happy, but I was just so hoping for an S tier. It's been 2 whole videos now since we've seen one. Mr. V needs an S tier. The animal logos of the airlines did work pretty well, but if only there was another sponsor with an animal logo, maybe even someone named after an animal, where the logo is simplified but still curvy and varied, maybe in the shape of, I don't know, a big cat. Everyone likes cats. I just can't think. What sponsor could possibly meet all of these requirements? It's no use. We're never gonna find it. We're stuck with these mid logos for the rest of our lives. All right, who's next on the tier list? Singapore, Qatar. Puma is the official clothing sponsor of Formula 1 as well as some of the teams, and I think you know what we're gonna say. This absolutely bangs. Excellent corner speed variety, high speed corners, low speed corners. medium speed corners. We've got some inch cut bits, but they don't go on too long. And unlike other tracks, they're not just a series of hairpins, but rather some interesting switchbacks, which for some reason remind me of the swimming pool section at Monaco, i.e. the best section of Monaco. Overtaking opportunities down into 2 or 11, or even through the slow sections if you're feeling feisty. I also think this would be a great spectacle in qualifying, as it's one of those layouts that really separates the good drivers from the greats. Honestly, I'm struggling to see any negatives here at all. That might just be the rose-tinted glasses talking, as I'm so jaded by the rest of this tier list, but I think this could be the track that I've been searching for all these videos. It's not perfect, nothing is, and I'm sure a few of these corner profiles could be tweaked to make this even better, but I am sticking the Puma at the very top of our tier list, along with our Lord and Saviour Fernando Alonso in S tier. And with that, we're all out of logos. There are a couple other Formula 1 partners that do have little symbols in their logos, such as Globant, Salesforce, Paramount Plus, but spoilers, these suck as tracks. I hope you enjoyed this video, and a massive thank you to all of you for the huge support on this series so far. Let me know if you'd like to see another video in this series turning something else into tracks like, I don't know, driver faces. I didn't make this, by the way. This is a post on the official Puma Motorsport Instagram page, which they posted one day after my driver logos as tracks video. Suspicious. Puma Motorsport admin, if you're watching this, and I know you are, I think you maybe need to sort Mr. V out with a little care package for giving you such good ideas. I put your logo in S tier and everything. If you want to see another video like this, hit the like button down below, and while you're down there, subscribe so you don't miss the next video. A massive thank you to MONGRIP for sponsoring this video, and until next time, I've been Mr. V, and I'll see you guys later.